Somebody hand me a coaster.
Roller coaster of love.
Say what?
You're using the swill water to rinse your swill water. Welcome to the Purgatorious Pig Tavern podcast, the Dungeons & Dragons and craft beer drinking podcast. This is week 4 of our beer draft. This week we will be discussing and rating our sour draft picks. Do a quick recap of the scores, where we stand after week 3. Eric in the lead with 292 points.
Woo!
Cole is in second place with 279.
Nice.
I am in third with 277. Christina with 269. And Aaron at 212. But no, Aaron has not used her flex spot yet, so her score has got a lower maximum right now. She's planning on using that flex spot in a later episode. So she'll have plenty of time to catch up with the rest of us here.
With the second pick of the draft in the first round, I chose Artisanal Brewworks Warheads Extreme Sour Blue Raspberry flavor. I chose this because I don't like sours, but this one I like. I remember having it at the Extreme Beer Fest, the very last Extreme Beer Fest at the roller derby or whatever it's called.
In Boston,
And I remember having that, and they had Warheads there. And I don't think I've ever seen Warheads candies out since I was a child. They had so many of them. They were giving us Warheads and the beer. And honestly, the only difference was the alcohol. And I thought it was a pretty cool idea for sour, so I went with that.
There was a line for this beer out the door. It was the cyclorama, not the roller derby. And
The roller derby
Yeah.
with the wood floor.
yeah. And the cobblestone floor.
Yeah, right.
And there was a line every time they put out a new flavor, because there's different flavors of this for every different.
That was the coolest part about it. Is like every hour they would release a different flavor every hour.
Yeah, that's right.
So
The line was warranted, but at the end of the day, they had enough for everybody later. So pretty sure I went there at the end of the fest
Yeah.
and drank every single flavor.
No, I think they ran out of the blue raspberry one, actually.
That might have been, that might have been true because I don't remember tasting that one. But I had the black cherry. The black cherry was good.
Yeah. Well,
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Do you want to talk about the pour?
It pours blue raspberry color. If blue raspberry was a coloring and like with a little bit of yellow, it's pretty green actually.
Super green.
It's got
Looks
a
like NyQuil.
yeah. It does look like NyQuil. It's
I was going to say Baja Blast.
Oh,
Like a-
Baja Blast too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baja Blast.
This gives you that blue raspberry, very familiar blue raspberry taste of almost any blue raspberry candy.
I have a dumb question. I don't remember, but did Warheads have like a little bit of fizz to them when you had them?
No, they were hard candy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
no.
a-
Did they
yeah,
like
it's hard
have a little
candy.
bit of
but
like?
if you broke into them,
No.
yeah,
No.
because you'd suck on them. They were, yeah, I feel like they did. They
No.
were they were sour on the outside, and then they got really sweet. And if you bit into it, the center was kind of hollow. I'm gonna
Nope.
find a warhead, and I'm gonna prove it.
I can tell you because I have a problem where I chew ice, and when I eat Warheads, I suck on them until the sour's gone, and then I chew them.
That doesn't explain why you can't
That-
chew ice. Or-
No. I'm saying like if it's a hard candy, I chew it. Like I don't suck on it until it's gone,
Is that?
and I don't ever
you do
remember
that
it.
because you chew ice. Is that
It-
why?
I'm just I guess it's a cause and effect. You know, I've always chewed on ice, and I enjoy anything that has the same texture as ice to chew on.
You're thinking of Pop Rocks.
Yeah,
no,
you're
no,
thinking
no.
of
I'm
popcorn.
not.
Yeah.
No, it's like literally like a candy, the same shape. And when you bite into it, it's got like a slightly hollow center that just had like a weird.
It might not be this, but like I said, I haven't had Warheads in like 20 years. I had them at the beer festival, but I do not remember them.
I'm pretty sure somebody told me to drop them in the beer itself. And I
Oh,
did that,
yeah,
and then I
I think
ended
the-
up
That drunk guy
with
that
a little bit more sour because like the dust came
Yeah.
off.
yeah, it was the guy that ate the pretzel off of my neck. This
Like a very drawn out pause.
it was,
there.
yeah.
What?
Guy that ate the pretzel off my neck.
Less.
Oh yeah, that makes him identifiable.
Yeah, remember that guy? We were standing in line
No.
with
I
him.
I remember that guy. Yeah.
What's he
I
wearing?
don't remember a
Flannel?
lot from that one.
Was he wearing flannel? Who wasn't wearing flannel?
Yeah.
I think we were the only one. No, Rozier
This
was
was
wearing
literally
a flannel.
this was like February 3rd, 2020, before the whole world shut down. It was
Yeah.
like the last
This was
event.
the last one, yeah.
So this beer is really crisp and clean. Even though it's a sour, you get that tart on the back end, but drinking it, it's a very clean drinking beer. It's 5%.
Oh,
so
good.
Very drinkable from that standpoint if you can do sours. It definitely has a different feel than probably a more traditional sour. Most sours are more on the fruity side, a little bit fuller bodied than this. You do get that kind of fake candy
It's a real candy.
taste. Yeah, well, like fake flavor, I guess, right? Like
But blue raspberry is not a real flavor.
right.
Actually, oh
Sorry,
no,
it's not a real fruit. It's a real manufactured flavor.
To piggyback on that, Scott, I feel like it doesn't even taste really like a beer. When I take a sip of it, I'm not getting any kind of beer notes or flavor. Maybe slightly on the backside, but it's really just like a candy in a glass.
It doesn't linger too, like the sour and such.
True.
It reminds me more of like a sour seltzer than anything. But I think it's good. I think it's kind of an interesting idea, and like just going back to the fact that like when was the last time any of us had a Warhead? Just a very nostalgic type flavor. Hey Rozier, for our listeners, where did you get this beer? How do you get it? Actually, I'm curious too. I don't know.
I think I got it. I think it was at Total Wine.
Get lucky.
Yeah, it was at Total Wine. No, I did order it, I think, from Halftime at one point.
Yeah.
But this particular pack that I got, I found in the corner at Total Wine.
Oh,
On the corner.
I think I figured out why I kind of said what I said earlier about like it being like candy-esque is it's very low carbonation compared to like it feels like it's a very
Yeah.
low carbonated beer. So it's almost got that syrupy quality to it of a candy.
Yeah, I mean, they make it with the candy. Yeah, the guy was telling us that they make it with just a shit ton of Warheads.
I think it's really
yeah, they probably
dry.
use that as the sugar.
It is pretty dry, yeah.
I think it's really dry. Yeah. It's
Oh yeah,
it's
it is
like
pretty dry.
I don't get the syrupy at all. I get like a really dryness, sour, dry
Hmm.
mouth.
So the can says it's a malt beverage with natural flavor and certified color. Are all beers labeled as malt beverages, or is that just this one? I don't think I've ever taken note of that.
Well, I mean, a 40 is a malt beverage.
Well,
That's
yeah,
exactly
no,
what I
but
thought of.
that's why.
Does this qualify?
But I think it's good. I like it. I have always enjoyed it. I've had the opportunity to drink it.
A malt drink is a fermented drink in which the primary ingredient is the grain or seed of the barley plant, which has been allowed to sprout slightly in a traditional way called malting before it is processed. So it's like calling it a malt beverage is
Any
literally
beer's
the
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because it's all made with malted barley.
right, exactly.
What did we
Yes.
wait till the third round for the next one?
But yeah, we jumped to the third round.
And who was that?
Cool.
Cole. Cole chose the sour in the third round.
Yeah, this one I really enjoy this beer. It's Sippin' Pretty by Odell. I chose it in the third round because I wanted to take it from Christina to make sure she didn't get it.
Real mature.
So, I mean, it's a strategy, right? So it's out of Fort Collins, Colorado. It's a brewery. I think I've said this before. Several of the breweries or several of the beers that we've chosen on this draft or in this draft were beers coming from Colorado because we were living there at the time and they were local, and it's cool to have that available and be able to talk about it. So this is another one of those. I absolutely love this beer. If I'm out on a hot day and we're at an event or anything around town or even a bar or a pub or anything like that, and I'm craving a sour, this is my go-to on tap because it's pretty much everywhere in Colorado or in the Denver area. So it's just that beer for me from a sour perspective. I always know it's going to be good and I know what to expect, and it's a great beer. So, and Odell's a great brewery.
Odell is awesome.
Yeah. Or it's a little cloudy, but peach colored, cloudy.
So this one clocks in at 4.5%.
Oh, it does taste peachy. Huh. That was unexpected. What's in this beer?
Yeah, it's so good.
It's really good.
More of a mantra than a beer, Sippin' Pretty is our fruited sour ale, loaded with our unique blend of acai, guava, and elderberry, and balanced with a delicate addition of Himalayan pink sea salt. This beer pops with a bright ruby color and a refreshing tart finish. So sit back, relax, and sip on something pretty.
This is really good.
Also, the can is gorgeous. I think it's super cute. It's actually what I want as wallpaper in my office.
All of Odell's artworks are like that.
Yeah.
It's really creative.
It's not as sour as I was expecting.
Jumping from the first pick to this pick, this has definitely toned down the sour level. This one's very approachable.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This feels like a very good intro to sour beer because it's not on the overly tart side where people may get turned off for it. It's almost like a closer to a wheat ale in mouthfeel, so it's I don't know, a little bit more approachable, but it's delicious.
Yeah, it really is.
That's why I gravitate to this one. I think the salt levels out the sour, so it's not overly sour. Where if you drink a lot of sour beers, your taste buds just get thrashed.
Yeah,
so
they
you can
do.
have a couple of these and be okay, and it's not overly sweet, so it doesn't screw up your stomach. And I love the floral notes, the elderberry, and all the other things that they put in this to give it a lot of a floral type flavor. It's really enjoyable to me. It tastes good.
And the salt mellows everything out just enough where you get all the flavors coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really like when sours do that too? And they add salt. I think that there's another beer that we're going to try that does something similar. I do like it.
Where's salt on your tongue next to the sour? Are they next to each other?
That
I
is
thought
a
so.
myth.
Or no.
You're a myth.
Isn't it surrounded?
The
Isn't
tongue
like this-
the tongue chart that says sweet, salty, that's a lie. Your taste buds are actually all mixed and mingled. There's not a specific spot on your tongue that only picks up salt.
Well, that sucks. Was the color wheel
Well, that
also a lie?
sucks.
Primary colors also a lie?
Yes.
Damn it.
Red, blue, green are not your primary color.
No, it's yellow,
Yeah.
red, and blue.
yellow.
No, it's
Yeah.
RBG is
That's a myth.
no. The wheel you're taught is wrong, is what I'm saying. The yellow is not a primary color.
It is.
It's not.
Wait,
How do you make
what
yellow
is-
otherwise?
Yeah.
RBG.
No, that's for video.
Yeah,
For paint, it's
Yeah,
yellow.
paint.
it is yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. But for video, it's green.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can mix blue and green,
What?
or blue and yellow to make green.
Yeah.
But
Says
when
the
you're
color-
doing-
Says the color
Says the colorblind guy.
Who can't see green?
This is a severely colorblind guy. No, we're colorblind positive here, though.
yeah, I'm sad we never made it out to this brewery when we lived out there. We were gonna go up there that one day.
Where are they?
We didn't make it all the way up to Fort Collins. Fort Collins.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh.
it's a little bit of a trek from where we were. It's about an hour,
Is that-
hour
I
and
made
a
the
half.
Yeah.
decision while we were drinking, and then the next morning we were too hungover.
That's what it was.
Is Fort Collins also where New Belgium is?
No, is
I
that in the
believe so.
mountains a little bit?
No, I
No,
thought
it's
New
straight
Belgium.
north.
Oh,
Straight
Yeah.
north of Denver.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
Make sure. Hey, Jamie, can you check that?
Yeah, Fort Collins.
Yeah, Fort Collins. And Asheville. Huh.
Asheville?
They had a place in Asheville.
Wait. Oh, New Belgium or
New
Odell?
Belgium.
Yeah, okay.
New Belgium. Yeah, Odell's just in Fort Collins.
What else has about? Oh, Sierra Nevada has a place in Asheville, I think.
A lot of
Asheville's huge.
West Coast ones
Yeah.
have some sort of East Coast presence now. Like
Usually
I
in-
think Stone's in Virginia.
Virginia?
Yeah.
Where?
Why does
You
it
said that like
matter?
you know Virginia. You know Virginia that well?
Yeah, I don't.
No, I mean
Like-
no, but I mean it's kind of far away.
Richmond.
Oh, all right. So
Oh,
in Richmond they do have another famous brewery, the Vale. Actually, I think it started in Norfolk, and then they have Scott's Edition, which is in Richmond. Nice job, Scott.
There we go.
Yeah, good job. Good work.
I don't like sours, but I like these beers. Nice job, guys.
Yeah, me too.
Did you say nice job to yourself and me?
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric.
High five myself.
Yeah, high five myself.
So sours fell pretty far down this draft, right?
Yeah, so there were a few sours I think picked in the in-between rounds. However, a few of the people here picked multiple sours. So the next sour actually being used in the draft is from the 8th round, the second pick, Notorious Gypsy by Armada Brewing, which was picked by Christina.
I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail because we did do an entire episode at Armada with the brewer. So encourage people to go listen to that. It's actually an incredibly interesting story. No judgment from anybody, but I was 8 months pregnant when we did that. So I obviously couldn't drink, but I would sip things just to try them. And this was when we did the episode at the brewery. I was sipping on this and it was amazing. It was also like the only beer I had in 8 months. And it was just perfectly refreshing and I really liked it. And so we got, a few of them so that I could drink them a month later when I could finally actually enjoy an entire beer again. And it was still just as amazing. I really like it. But what we learned with this draft is that Armada is kind of tough if you like a beer from them because they only brew so much and then they move on to the next thing. But it sounds like this one was more seasonal, so they did go back and brew it again this year. But I think some of you guys had a little bit of a harder time getting it, right?
The story of how we got it was after you picked it, we went down to the brewery because they said they had it still on 4-packs. And I think the guy in front of us had picked up the last 4-pack. So we were like, oh shit, when are you going to brew it again? They were like, I don't know. So we waited a while. A bunch of, life happened to a lot of people. And we decided to do the sour episode earlier this week. And Scott mentioned, hey, it looks like Notorious Gypsy is back on tap. So had a rough day at work on Thursday. We went over there for just a
One
wind
beer
down.
turned into
1 to 4 beers.
4 beers.
Always
And-
momentum.
Yeah.
And they had Notorious Gypsy. Actually, they even had in the back, they actually have a new mural of the Notorious Gypsy. So I think they might be brewing it more often.
Ah,
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So we got lucky because the people that live far away from it had it, and the people that live close to it couldn't get it.
So, what year is yours? I'm curious because we just like
this
this
is
is
last year's.
fresh and yours
We-
is a year later.
I don't
Yeah,
think
so we
s-
we bought this, and this is what we brought home, and I saved a couple,
That's been to how many states with you guys?
3.
Yeah, because we bought it in Connecticut, didn't we?
Bought it in Connecticut, moved it back to Colorado, and then moved it to Wisconsin.
So this clocks in at 5%, and it has pink guava, passion fruit, and peaches.
So that's similar to the last one, right?
Last one
Mhm.
didn't have the peaches, but I think tasted
It had
more
guava,
peach.
right?
Yeah.
Had guava. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
elderberry,
previous one had
acai.
guava
And
and,
acai.
a few other.
Guava seems to be a prevalent fruit flavor in sours nowadays. I remember sours back in the day where they were like almost wholly farm open fermented and just like whatever yeast was in the air would make them.
Right, more of a
Mhm.
lambic almost.
Yeah,
you're
almost more of
thinking.
a lambic. Yeah, that's what they were for a very long time. I don't know when they started using fruit and stuff, but it's pretty good.
Or like a farmhouse ale.
Yeah, kind of.
Probably helps with the sour flavor. Because I think
Oh, it
depending on how
definitely
ripe
does.
guava is, it can be very sour.
I think it lends itself better to sour because if you have like a guava drink that's intended to be more of a juice, I think it's just way too sweet. So I think it balances out better with like a sour profile at least.
I think for me, all I really taste is the guava and the passion fruit. I don't really get any of the peaches in the flavor, but it's delicious nonetheless.
Yeah, this is also really good.
The peaches are definitely subtle in this compared to the other fruit. This one,
Mhm.
compared to Sippin' Pretty, is a smidge tartar,
Hmm.
I think. So
Yeah,
more
definitely.
closer to what I think of a sour in that respect. It's very drinkable so far. This is probably our lowest ABV episode as it stands.
Which one? What does this come in at?
This one comes in at 5%.
Oh, nice.
So we haven't had anything over 5% so far.
Which is the best part about sour.
Wait till the end. Though.
The last one's a doozy.
I noticed that when I picked it up at the store. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Who picked this? Scott?
Yeah, I picked it. I'm a professional.
Yeah, definitely a Scott pick. This kind of looks similar to the Sippin' Pretty, though. Kind of has a little bit of a red hue.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does not at
It-
all.
It does a little
It
bit.
does.
Oh.
Totally.
See, I didn't really see the red hue in the Sippin' Pretty. So I think they are similar color profile.
There is
Wait a second.
Who's the
wait a
real
second.
colorblind one here? Jeez.
Yeah.
there is definitely a red hue in the Sippin' Pretty beer. This has less of that.
Yes.
Oh, Johnny did recognize us and stop and talk to us the other night.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was
He was a
something.
really nice guy. I liked him a lot.
Yeah, he's very personable. Apparently, he's got his own podcast now.
Yes, I saw
does.
that, yeah. So in the 10th round, first pick, Aaron takes Sequench Ale by Dogfish Head.
Yeah, I have not much to say about sours. So we had Sequench in an early episode, and I was like, I think this is the best sour I've ever tasted. And that pretty much sums up the story. I really enjoy it. I think I could pull this out of the fridge and in any mood and be satisfied with my choice. I do like salt added into the mix when they brew sours, and this is one of those beers. So I like cutting that. I like sour, but I like cutting it for a sipping beer with the salt. Helps mellow everything out, and you get the different flavors coming through. And this has that. Sipping Pretty was like a pleasant surprise because it also had that. And you could taste all the different fruits that they added to the mix. This is a dogfish. Oh, and that's the other thing. So Sipping Pretty reminded me, I was like, this tastes like a dogfish head concoction. This is also a dogfish head concoction, but it's its own concoction. We've had this before, but I'm hoping that it will rank. I have no idea which episode we had this in. I'll have to fact check.
It's
Go-
very early
yeah.
on.
Go back,
Yeah.
listen to them all, and let us know.
It's like second or third.
Episode 6.
Nope.
It was like second or sixth.
So this beer comes in at 4.9%.
Oh, good.
This is the first. Well, I guess the blue raspberry was only one flavor profile, but this is only flavored with lime and sea salt. It's not a combination of fruits like the other Sippin' Pretty and Notorious Gypsy.
Or the extreme sour blue raspberry warhead. Blue raspberry warheads is a fruit, right?
Yeah, 3 servings a day.
Something like that.
Is the food pyramid also fake?
Probably.
It is.
Yeah, it's upside down now.
Absolutely.
It's upside down now.
Yeah.
It totally
It's
flipped over.
It is absolutely fake.
You need 12 servings of bread a day. Yes, that makes sense.
Food pyramid scheme.
Isn't that what it is? Isn't it like
every day.
6 to 12 servings of like carbs a day is like the recommendation?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was the
Unbelievable.
no or was that right under?
Yeah, bread was the big base on the bottom.
Oh my gosh, not vegetables.
No.
Because all you need is bread.
It's like carbs, and then it's veggies, fruits, then it's your proteins and milk, and then it was like fat was the top.
And then sugar.
That was the top.
And
Like
sugar.
the bad stuff was like 1 serving a day of like bad stuff.
Yeah, but sugar and fat was like grouped together, so you could have a
whole bunch of
limited
sweet lard treats.
Deep
amount.
fried butter covered in powdered sugar
Yeah.
once a day.
One.
Once a
One
day.
serving.
Your butter shot. Your sweetened butter shot.
You're talking about fried dipping sauce? Yeah.
We've talked about this beer before. It's delicious. It's crisp, clean, great representation of the style. Because they only do the one fruit, that lime definitely comes through. It doesn't get masked. It's also very hard to hide behind if they screw up a batch. There's no blending or anything like that. And I'll say it again. This is a great beer to have after cutting the grass.
I was going to ask about that.
Yep.
Now that you guys have lawns.
Yeah, this is definitely up there as a beer I reach for after cutting the grass.
I mean, I don't want to go over all the details that we went over in the last episodes. So Scott, I think you did a good summary. The one thing I will say, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the salt really does come out on the back of your tongue. I mean, we mentioned the salt in Sippin' Pretty as well, and I think there the salt is more used as a mechanism to dial back the sour, so it kind of makes it a more of a lesser sour, more of a kind of run-of-the-mill beer with a little bit of sour taste. The salt is almost separate from the lime where you get the flavor at the end, and I like that. It's a nice sensation.
I like how clear it is. I think aside from the Warhead one, this is the clearest one so far. I think with the amount of salt in this is really nice. It's very full of electrolytes. What plants crave? I think this is
What
the
plants
beer.
crave.
Yeah, this is the beer that I think that they should have made the Michelob commercials about from the 90s. It was like the power couple rollerblading it to lunch to get a Michelob Ultra. I think they should have been. I think they should have had a Sequench after.
I don't think this was available in the 90s.
I think they should I think Dogfish Head should redo this.
Yeah.
Hey, Dogfish Head Marketing Department. Sorry, at Markfish. At Dogfish.
at Markfish Doggeting.
Doggy.
At Dogfish Head Marketing Department. Can I help make that episode? The Purgatorious Pig would gladly be creative consultants on that shoot. Call us up. We'll do it for
Call
beers.
us up. Holla at you, boy.
All right, Scott, bring us on to the next one.
This is Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes. So in the 10th round, 5th pick, Mr. Irrelevant, I took Victory's Sour Monkey, which is a sour tripel. And because I'm a professional, this clocks in at 9.5% because you got to end strong.
Oofda.
And nobody had picked it.
And yeah, no one picked it.
It's usually how it goes when you draft something. You draft it when nobody picks it.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point, Cole.
We went to Victory once.
That's a good story.
Oh yeah, we ended up. I mean, to be fair,
Sick.
we showed up and it was a trivia night, and we accidentally sat next to the guy, trivia MC, I guess, and we ended up having to do trivia, and we got, I think, dead last by
0 right.
I think we got 1 right. And
Jeez.
yeah, we were
I
terrible.
feel like you guys would be better at that.
No,
Yeah.
no, trivia, like current events in entertainment, last in our strong suit, probably. And this is all this guy did. Wow, this is.
So I took this beer because probably my first introduction to sours.
Oh, wow.
But you're a Belgian guy, right?
I am a Belgian guy, so I was
Oh,
already a fan
yeah.
of Victory to begin with. Their Monkey series of beer, delicious.
Is this the only one that's year round now?
I believe so, but this was probably the first or second sour I had that wasn't a lambic, and it sticks out to me. It's delicious. My draft strategy had me just take this last. It was my first pick for a sour, and it was there in my 10th round. I had other beers I wanted to make sure to grab, so
Yeah.
it was there. And yeah, it's a delicious beer, even at 9.5%. Don't sleep on it, even though I took it last.
Well, I mean,
we
yeah.
all heard about Mr. Irrelevant a couple of years ago, how he's doing now. Went to the Super Bowl.
Who was that?
Purdy. Draft's
Oh.
quarterback was 49ers quarterback.
Brock
Yeah,
Purdy.
49ers was Mr. Irrelevant when he was drafted. And then
Yeah.
he went to the Super Bowl.
But just him.
It's true.
Well, it's a good thing this is last because this is like more of a punch in the face.
This is a palate smasher.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really enjoy this.
I know.
I love how Scott's drinking it. He is like resting in his palm,
Yeah.
like lifting up, holding his fingers. Like
That's how you get a good look at the color. You got to hold it.
And you don't want to hold it in your palm because then it warms up.
Don't you want it?
No,
warmed
but
up,
yeah,
though?
it's
'Cause
like facing your palm, but only held by your fingertips, and you're just like,
this might be a little smoother, warmer,
Mm.
because it is a Belgian triple.
Wait, it's a Belgian triple, not a sour?
It's a sour Belgian triple.
I think it's really good. It really does hit like a Belgian. Tastes like a
Mhm.
Belgian. Tastes like a sour Belgian, which is pretty accurate.
Oh,
I think it's really good. I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
Yeah.
Good flavor notes. It says it's just an ale with added spice. So I'm curious what the spices they put into it are to get the sour out of it. But
I wonder if they changed
Yeah.
the yeast.
No, imported Belgian yeast swirl.
Yeast swirl?
Yeast swirl.
Is that like a soft serve?
No.
could be a Belgian swirl, yeast swirl. It doesn't sound like a good thing.
It does not.
None of that sounds good.
It won't affect our rating, though. Who would write that down on the can?
Victory.
It's not a good marketing technique.
It sounds very poetic.
I do love Victory Brewing. This is not one of my favorites of theirs, but it is a good representation of the style. I won't knock it for that. I remember during the postseason run in 2008 when the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series for the first time in my lifetime. I had a theory that they only won when I was drinking Pennsylvania brewed beer with my dad. And since I couldn't get Yingling up here at the time, I was like, Victory it is. So me and my dad were smashing Victory beers every day after work just to make sure they won.
It's probably Golden Monkey.
No, Prima Pills.
there were so many people who had those sorts of things during that run. Like I lived in Philly at the time.
Yeah.
I went to school with had a uniform. There was a girl I went to school with who had a bright red Phillies sweatshirt that she was convinced is what was making them win during the playoffs. So she wore it every single day. We did not wash it, wore it every single day.
Can't
And
wash
every
it.
time a teacher tried to make her take it off because it wasn't uniform, she would go in this huge argument about how the Phillies are going to lose and it's going to be on them if they make her take the sweatshirt off. And that's
And
how
that
she got
worked?
away with wearing it
And
for
that
a
worked?
month. Yeah.
I guess you were in Pennsylvania, so that made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it was Philly, so
Yeah.
Phillies Nation or whatever.
Yeah.
But
You're responsible for the Phillies losing if I take this off.
Yeah. If they lose the next game, you're forever gonna be feeling like you're cursed.
right, and that's like, I mean, I
She
feel
put
like
a hex on me.
that's probably a little bit healthier than saying I need to pound beers tonight because I need to do it.
I mean, it was a really touching father-son story, so I was glad that it was told.
Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah, we got drunk on our couch and watched baseball together. Yeah, right.
Sounds like a great reason to bond with your father. People take notes out there.
I was like, why can't we have a catch? He says, let's watch them have a catch. Better.
We can play catch. No, we'll watch them play catch.
You drinking your beer, son?
That's an empty, and they miss a run. It's your fault.
To Christina's point, though, I mean, I remember I grew up in Philly when I was much younger in the 93 series when they went. And, like, they made it to the World Series. They lost World Series, of course. But I called out of school because my dad miraculously won tickets to one of the games. So we went, and my mom called school, and they're like, he's leaving early to go to the game. They were like, oh, hell yeah. And then she goes, and he's not,
Yeah.
and then she goes, he's not coming in today because he was at the game last night because they lost. And they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Anyone have anything else to say on victory?
For the victory beer, I think it's kind of interesting for me. The first sip was like sour and then Belgian, and then a triple.
Yeah.
It was a weird, I wasn't expecting it to all of a sudden have, because when you have a triple has it's like almost syrupy kind of because it's it's so high alcohol, but it's not. I don't know. It's syrupy, I think, is the best way for me to explain it. And so it was weird going from all of these other sours that are more on the lighter, refreshing side to a sour, heavier, syrupy beer like that. But then there's also so much alcohol. So then the second sip I took was I got over it. So it was just kind of
I got over it.
It was definitely a weird, because then all of a sudden you're like, hey, you're adjusted to it. But it was definitely a weird feeling or kind of mind game for me during my first couple sips that I thought I would share with everyone.
I agree. I didn't know this was a Belgian before I started drinking it. And then second sip, I was like, this feels like a Belgian.
Did you just say Belgium?
Belgian?
Belgium.
We cover this in another episode. It's fine. Oh, that draft is going to be rough.
The Belgium one?
The Belgium one.
The amount of times Aaron's going to say Belgium instead of Belgian.
Anyway, yeah, so I feel you. It could taste all the different levels that this beer has to offer at once.
Belgians are just,
You love them or you hate them.
they definitely unexpectedly hit you. We were in Bruges on the 4th and
Bruges?
got unintentionally pretty lit that day from 3 or 4 beers. It was just really sunny out and I'm like, this is really weird right now.
That wraps up our sour week. We'll go over scores now. We'll start up with the Warhead Sour. Cole, what do you give it?
So for the Warhead Sour, I gave it an 18.
Christina?
18.
Aaron?
17.
And I gave it a 17, which gives a weekly total of a 70. For Sippin' Pretty, Eric, what did you give it?
I gave it an 18.
Christina?
18.
Aaron?
18.
And I gave it an 18 as well.
Oh, man. No 19s. Come on, guys.
72.
72. Notorious Gypsy, Eric.
18.
Cole.
19.
Aaron?
18.
18. And I'm giving it an 18, which is a 73. Sequench, Eric.
17.
Cole.
19.
Christina.
17.
And I'm giving it an 18, which is a 71. Sour Monkey, Eric.
I actually hate this beer, but I'm giving it a 17 because for the style, it's actually pretty good.
I have a way to rate that separately.
Cole,
Yeah. 18. Aaron, you need to create your scale so we can all reference it.
Christina,
16. I was very confused drinking it.
and Aaron.
17.
So 68. So for this week, the rankings go Christina with Notorious Gypsy, Cole with Sippin' Pretty, Aaron with Sequench, Eric with Warhead Sour, and I come up the end with Sour Monkey. Here are the new totals, and I'm going to do something different this week. Is I'm also going to say how the scores have changed from the previous totals, just so people can kind of see who's gaining and who's losing ground to everyone.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right, so Eric is still in overall first place with 362 points out of a max of 400. Second place is Cole at 351. Cole, though, you made up 2 points this week from a running total. So Cole
Oh, yeah.
clawing back a bit. In third place, it's myself at 345. I lost 4 points, so I'm falling a little bit farther behind Cole now. So I lost 6 points on the week. Fourth place is Christina with 342 points. She made up 5 points this week, so she's only 3 behind me
Ooh.
now. And then Aaron, you have a lower maximum because you haven't used your flex yet, so keep that in mind. You have a total of 283 points. You're 59 points behind Christina. You lost 2 additional points behind Christina this week. So yeah, that's where we're at out of a total of 400 points through week 4 of 7. Thank you for listening to the Purgatorious Pig Tavern podcast. Go follow us on Instagram, join our Discord page, send us an email, figure out a way to reach us. It's on our Instagram.
Smoke signals.
So yeah, thanks for listening.
Boop.